To log on to your SAP system, you use the program SAP Logon or SAP Logon Pad. In the Systems tab, you will find all SAP systems in your company available to you. In our example, there is currently only one. Choose the system you want to connect to and press Log On. This will open the SAP Logon screen, which asks for your logon data. The first entry you must choose is the client. A client is the highest organizational unit in the SAP system and is used to keep different companies separated from each other. We will tell you more about organizational units in Chapter 4. In this example, we choose Client 500 to log on to. Next, you must enter your username. You usually receive your username from the SAP administration team in your IT department, along with your initial password that you enter right underneath the username. Finally, choose the system language in which you would like to work. In our case, we enter EN for English. Once you have completed entering the logon data, either hit the return key on your keyboard or press the Enter button at the top left corner of the screen. If you are logging on to the system for the first time, you are required to change your password immediately. Enter your new password in the corresponding field and once more in Repeat Password. Please note that passwords in SAP are case sensitive, which means the system differentiates between uppercase and lowercase letters. Should you enter a wrong password 3 times in a row, the system will automatically block your user account. You will have to check with your system administration to have your account unlocked. Once you have completed logging on to the system, you are taken to the SAP main screen. You are now ready to start working in SAP ERP. The SAP main screen is called SAP Easy Access. It consists of a number of different elements that we will explain to you now. At the top of the screen, you can see the menu bar. Out of the various entries in the menu, the System and Help menus are always available. In the System submenu, you can default a number of parameters, some of which we will show you later on, or change your password using the User Profile submenu. The Help submenu lets you call up the online help of SAP. Choosing Help, Application Help, allows you to browse this library for detailed information on the entire SAP system. Underneath the menu bar, there is a list of push buttons. You have seen the Enter button before. This one is used to confirm any entries you make. Next, you see the command field that you can use to enter shortcuts to transactions. We will show you later in this chapter how to use this functionality. You can hide the command field with a little triangle next to it. To show the command field again, press the triangle once more. Whenever you want to finish a transaction and send your data entries to the server, you press the Save button. The buttons Back, Exit, and Cancel are used to navigate in transactions. Using the Back button will take you to the previous screen, while the Cancel button will make you leave the transaction you are in without saving your entries. Exit means you will be taken back to the main screen, likewise without saving your entries. The Print button allows you to send data to the printer, and with the Search button you can look for a certain keyword in the transaction you are in. The navigation buttons are used to flip through the pages of long lists. Hitting the button New Session will open an extra session. A session is another window, also running SAP ERP, which you can use to work in parallel. For example, if you are waiting for a report to end in your current session. By default, you can run as many as 6 sessions in parallel, but it is possible for your system administrator to allow up to 16. With the Shortcut button, you can create a direct link to the transaction you are in and store it on your desktop. This will allow you to jump directly to that transaction from your desktop without having to navigate there first. The Help button is an alternative way to call up the Help function to the method we have already explained before. Finally, you can adjust the settings for your user interface with the button Customize Local Layout. At the bottom, the status bar provides information on where you currently are in the system. To see all the detailed information available here, press the List button to open a little pop-up window which shows you all the details, such as the server you are connected to, the program currently running, the transaction code, etc. Press anywhere else on the SAP Easy Access to close the pop-up. The largest part of the SAP user interface consists of the menu tree that you use to navigate the different modules and transactions in SAP ERP. For example, to get to the transaction for entering a document in financial accounting, open Accounting, Financial Accounting, General Ledger, Document Entry, enter GL account document. To start the transaction, double-click on it. As we mentioned before, you can use transaction codes as shortcuts to transactions. To use a shortcut, type the transaction code of the transaction you would like to use into the command line. The system will then jump directly to that transaction and open it without you having to navigate through the menu tree. However, this requires you to know which code to use for a specific transaction. Transaction codes are a relic from the early days of SAP when there was no hierarchical menu tree yet. Nowadays, it is easier, especially for a beginner, to navigate your way through the menu instead of memorizing transaction codes. Experienced users find it quicker to use transaction codes to access their most frequently used transactions. You can find out which transaction you are in by checking the status bar, as we explained earlier. In addition, you can preset the system to show the transaction code in front of every transaction name, as is already the case here. By default, the system does not show the codes. To turn them on, choose Extras, Settings in the menu, and then tick the option Display Technical Names. In addition, the system allows you to maintain favorites for the transactions you frequently use. The favorites are listed above the regular SAP menu tree. To add a transaction to your favorites, click on it and then press the button Add to Favorites. To log off or disconnect from the SAP ERP system, you can simply close the window of the session you are working in. Should you be working in several sessions in parallel, however, you would have to close all windows to be completely disconnected. The easiest and fastest way to close all sessions at the same time is to go to the main menu and then choose System, Log Off.